Well, I want to thank B&F McLean for the information on the numbers on the Pontiac. We had a lot of interesting stuff here. I kind of wrote down everything here. He basically goes over the cowl tag here. Okay, we're going to decipher the cowl tag here. He was basically telling me this, the 06, which means that the car was produced in June, being the 6th month, B being the 2nd week of June. So that is when the car was manufactured, the 2nd week of June in 1960. The B in the accessories line, which is down here, is the circle air heater. That's the heating system this car has. The F is the backup lamps, and the DT is the decor group, which is a deluxe package. It says it includes clear acrylic steering wheel, extra right dash ashtray, and dash custom trim, and full wheel discs, and exterior stainless. So we got the deluxe full disc, we got the stainless trim. Some of the lower end cars, like on Chevrolet, especially the Biscaynes, this was just painted. The Bel Air, you had stainless here. But that's what GM mostly did when they manufactured their different models, was trim differences. The car itself was basically the same car, other than the amount of chrome they piled on. The ashtray is part of the decor group. That is the ashtray for the right hand side. I assume that this being the extra trim. This car has a radio delete. It has no radio in it. This is the heater control. The heater underneath the plenum underneath the dash. And this car has the backup lights. And the numbers on that engine are the vehicle identification numbers that I gave you, but from my understanding here from Bob, the engine has another set of numbers on it, and sure enough it does. I did find them. So we'll see if we can get them on video too. You're kind of in an awkward spot to get the video camera, so I don't know if they're going to show up in the video, but I can, let's see if I can get the light and the camera in a good spot. It's really in an awkward spot to get the camera. It's behind this generator bracket. The numbers are right here, and I'll read them off. It's 326653, and then below it there's a big letter A and a 1. So I'm under the understanding that this is the 283 horse 389, but hopefully those numbers will tell exactly what this horsepower rating and everything is on the engine. So I just wish I could get the camera in there and video those numbers a little better. I don't think they're gonna show up in the video, but if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. I can see them with my eye pretty well, so. But again, they're in an awkward spot behind that generator bracket. So hopefully they show up in the video. So I'm going to start knocking some of the rust out of those holes on the floor pan today, and if I get time next week I'll start working on the panels. I didn't stop by Sherman's. I didn't have time to see about a repair panel, but these are, I'm going to pull all this carefully, try and get this mat out without damaging it. They're Sherman and Associates is right near where my dad's house is. They sell reproduction body panels for these old cars, and they sell floor pans, they sell complete 100% pan assemblies, they sell just sections. So I'll see if they have that section there. If they don't, I'll just make it, or if it's too much money, I'll just make it. But a lot of times those things are pretty cheap. I did buy a rocker panel for this side, and it was just cheaper to buy it than the time involved in making it, so that's why I bought it. But you know, another thing too, you know, I'm talking about buffing out that paint on the other fender. This paint is original, factory original paint, all the hood. Pretty much everything from this molding up is factory original, except for that fender that I painted the whole fender on the driver's side. So just to update people that are new to my channel and new to the Catalina. That is the original engine. I did not rebuild it, or just basically got it going. It still has the Champion spark plugs in it that were in it when I purchased the car. Still has the distributor cap and rotor from when I purchased the car. Replaced the plug wires. I took the points and condenser out and put a Pertronix electronic ignition in it and changed the coil. So the coil would be the one that they recommend for the electronic ignition. Well, seatbelts are a little bit of a chore getting out. I had to take the plasma cutter and give that a cut to get that off. That was for this one. And these are Sears seat belts. It says the date of manufacture was 1969. So these are obviously put in the late 60s. But this actually, you can barely see it, but it's totally right here. Date of manufacture, 1969. So these, I'm not going to put these back in the car, but they are going to go with the car. Okay, I got the carpet pulled up. We got a little bit more rust to repair. We got a hole right here. That's where the seat belt was attached. That's all completely solid. We got a little bit of a hole here, so I'll probably repair basically from here. I'll repair that, welded new metal all the way basically from here across. This is starting to go there. That's shiny metal there, but you can see the hole there and a crack there. And then on the other side we got some rust too. I'll go over to the other side. I'm going to beat this with a hammer, see what kind of condition this is in, but it's not too bad. I think there's going to be a hole there, so we'll knock all that out. And this side's not as bad as the other side, but this is worse. This is and again, that's shiny metal there. That's unrusted shiny sheet metal. So obviously when this rotted out, it allowed moisture down in here that rotted this, or moisture just sat in here. But I will whack this out with the plasma cutter and repair that too. I might just cut everything out that's rusted and get everything prepped, and then next week, and there's rust starting there too, we'll stop at Sherman's and see what a new repair panel cost. And but I think these would be easier to repair than to replace the panel. So I'll get to work on hammering that out and getting all the rust cleaned up. This, you know, I mean, again, like I say, I've seen these to where there's zero left. No braces, no nothing, where you can see the chassis, the axle. So this isn't that bad for a 1960 GM car. So let me get to work with the body hammer and clean it up, and we'll go from there. I think most of this won't be able to be visible from the undercarriage. You might see a little bit right here, but there's a body pan line there, and I'll keep that because that's shiny metal, or that's solid. So I'll cut it off nice and even, and then when it's welded in, nothing will be visible from underneath the car, as the floor pans will still look pretty original. And we'll get this thing cleaned up and painted up and ready for the reupholstered seats. And I got my favorite knockout rust tool out. This just kind of tap away at things, and wherever it goes through, it'll be in need of repair. So let's get to work. Alright, well, I really beat the heck out of the floors with the hammer and cleaned them up. So this, you can see the brace, the floor pan brace. And I'll just cut this rusty stuff out and put new in. This is actually really solid right here. This is under the brace, so I might just, we'll see, just repair a strip there and this around in here. Do is, you know, keep it as original as possible. So I'll take my plasma cutter and cut that out. Cut this out. Everywhere where it rusted out was where there was a spot weld. So there's a spot weld there, and one there, one here, there's one there. But basically everywhere where there was a spot weld is where the rust started. Now I'm going to take these panels out, that panel too, so I don't mess them up. I'm going to take this off and see where the spot welds were. Now I beat the heck out of this with my body hammer, and the only place it went through is where the spot welds were. See the welds. So this side, this part isn't as bad. I think I may not cut this whole, may cut it out. May just be easier, just cut the whole piece out and redo it than try and cobble it with bits and pieces. I think I'll just cut it all out and be done with it. And this back here, I'll cut all this out and weld new to the brace. And this goes right up to here. This was full of mouse stuff right in here, seeds and stuff. But the inner part's solid. So I don't want to damage these, so these will come out of the car. And do that, like I say, tomorrow, or I got other things I got to get done today. So I just thought I'd come out here and work on it for a couple hours, and just going to work on it a couple hours here and there. No big hurry. Seat's going to take about a month and a half to get done, so that gives me plenty of time to get the floor pan repaired and painted. So I'll just paint it with some Rust-Oleum or something like that, so it doesn't rust anymore. You can see that's probably why they, you know, that's bare metal. Absolutely bare metal in here. So the GM just primered these. They didn't even really finish them with any rust protective. So any condensation or moisture would have just rotted these pans out. So this thing's in remarkably good shape for its age. So we'll get that all repaired, and I think we'll be done with the car once the seats are back in. It's looking good. A little more rust than what I thought was here, but it's nothing that's not totally easily repairable. And give me something to do in this cold, blustery winter. I think today it's only, I don't know, it was 5 earlier. It was below 0 this morning Fahrenheit. So it's about 10 right now. And yeah, it's definitely a clear sky. That's when you get your coldest temperature. So yeah, it's definitely a cold one out. So the furnace is getting a workout today. It is set at 65. It's plenty warm to work in the garage. Well, I worked on the car a little bit more, so I'll add a little video to this. I pulled the panels. Now you can see why I didn't pull a package tray just to paint it, unless I was doing the back seat. Yeah, that's a lot of work. You'd have to pull the back seat, those panels, the moldings by the window to get this out. So we got the package tray out, so I'll get some paint mixed and repaint that and put it back in. I think the adhesive on there had given out, that's why it was rattling. It just, once I bent those tabs up, it just lifted right up and out, and that should be somewhat glued in there. And you can see there's 0 rust in that channel. So yeah, there's no water leaks, no. We'll go around and get a little, I mean, look at that. Look at how solid that is. This molding here I just pulled up a little bit and left it there. Didn't realize I didn't have to pull them both out. Just pull them up a little. There was no build sheets on this side or this side. That molding I did take completely off. You can see this is solid. This is a common area for these cars to rot out. So yeah, it's looks really nice. So anyway, I wanted to pull those panels so I wouldn't burn them or anything when I go to weld the floor pans there. I'm going to pull these off today too. And I've had those off in the past. There's nothing under them. It's all clean and solid under them because I did have them off. But put everything in the trunk. Good thing to have around when you work on these cars. Little baggies like these are the screws for the trim. Screws to bolt the seat in. Screws to bolt the seat in on the other side. Screws for the panel. So, and those little panels here. So yeah, I put them all in baggies. This tag was underneath in the car. I don't know if it was from something else or if it was from this car. I'll get it out of the pack. And it was stapled, as you can see, to something. So I don't know if that just came off, something was garbage in the car, or if this actually had something to do with the car. It was behind this panel right in here, just kind of laying in there. It was kind of behind the cardboard panel, so I don't know if it's part of numbers on the car or what, but if you can see the numbers, top row 60484, and then it's an R40, and then a space and a W27, and then it's got a 2137, and then a period, and then it's got a 206, and then an M, and then it looks like a JBS1068. So if that has anything to do with the car, let me know. If it doesn't, well, so be it. Alright, got the covers off for the wire channels. I'll repaint in there, but it's just surface rust. But that'll allow me to weld up here and up here without damaging anything. I'll take this off too. It's just kind of held on with little nails. But yeah, it's all coming along. So maybe this next week I'll start, maybe tomorrow or Sunday we'll see what my time schedule is. I can start cutting the old rusted sheet metal out, making new panels to fit in, and start getting welded up and get some paint mixed up for that. And we can start moving forward on getting it done. And then I'll probably have the rust repaired before the seats are done. So I'm not in any big hurry to get it done. I mean, it's kind of a fun little project to work on and give me something to do in the cold wintry days and on an old car. So I'll get that all repaired up and that back in, and rug back in, and have it ready for the seats when they're done. Well, appreciate watching my videos. Thank you very much. And Bob, if you have any more information on those engine numbers, leave it in the description. And yes, I will send you the old seat covers when the seats are done and I get them back, so you can use them for patterns for your Catalina. What a beautiful Catalina you have too. So thank you everyone for watching my videos.